The story of Brackenhide Hollow is dark and unsettling, with deep implications for the future of Azeroth. Come, take a seat by the fire as we explore the lore of this dungeon and its inhabitants, and watch till the end to hear some theory on what has been hinted at for so long. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a theory we didn't cover here? Be sure to leave it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Brackenhide Hollow is the largest Gnoll settlement on the Dragon Isles. Gnolls are a race of hyena-like creatures that you can encounter on your travels through Azeroth. They are mostly seen in the Eastern Kingdoms, although more recently they have been spotted in Kalimdor. Gnolls are known for being highly aggressive and territorial. While not known for their intelligence, many Azerothian scholars have noted that they do possess a certain wild cunning. They hunt in packs and prefer guerrilla warfare of sorts. Often underestimated, a Gnoll ambush can be deadly for an unsuspecting traveller. They have a tribal culture, and more often than not, infighting and battles for dominance prevent them from being a real threat. Sometimes, however, a particularly brutish or powerful Gnoll will rise to power, as was the case in the infamous Gnoll War. This war was led by a Gnoll named Garfang. Under his savage leadership, the Gnolls now posed a serious threat to the humans of Stormwind. Attacking with overwhelming numbers and uncharacteristic strategy, they pinned the humans into their capital city, as a lot of the outer farms and settlements were pillaged and burned. The human king at the time, Berethan Rin, took a small force of elite knights and rode into Redridge Mountains and killed Garfang himself. Now, without a leader strong enough to unite them, they quickly fell to infighting, and the humans took advantage and put an end to the threat. The Brackenhide Gnolls, however, are very different from their kin. Rot and decay seeps more and more from the heart of their settlement. The local Tuskar have noted that all living things have begun to rot and decay much faster than usual, and it becomes worse the closer you get. Upon entering the Hollow, you are greeted first by a warband, led by three of the most vicious and ruthless Gnolls. Rira Hatclaw, Trick Totem, and Gnash Tooth were bid to guard the entrance from intruders. Taking them out will be the first challenge adventurers face to gain access deeper into the camp. The fight is won, and the party explores further into the settlement, until they come across a decay-withered ancient that the Gnolls have nicknamed Treemouth. Within Azeroth, the use of the word withered is very specific. Withered is used to refer to a once mortal being who was killed or brought close to death only to be raised or taken over by a type of magic entirely. Mostly, they are twisted, all-consuming shades of their former selves. The withered we encounter in Brackenhide are actually taken over by the magic of decay. Decay, often seen as the sixth element within Azeroth, is one of the primordial forces, and in the elemental wheel it is the antithesis to spirit. We have seen its use before in dark shamans who use the magic of decay to subjugate the elements to do their bidding. Treemouth, once an ancient, has had the rot of decay magic settle within it. First it twisted his body, and then his mind. Now it just feels the endless hunger for more magic, and will stop at nothing to obtain it. The adventurers chop it down, and put this poor damned creature out of its misery. The scent of blood is in the air now, as the adventuring party gains some ground. Gutshot, the master Gnoll hunter, is waiting. Venturing too deep within the camp has invited her ire. She has long been training more Gnolls in the arts of trapping and killing prey, and would love nothing more than to kill the adventurers and make it a good lesson in the process. A hard-fought battle later, and the final steps of the journey must be undertaken. The sweet, sickly, decaying smog grows thicker, and more withered gnolls appear, each more twisted and abhorrent from the last. Until, at journey's end, the self-proclaimed Decaytriarch Wratheye is waiting. Wratheye, thirsting for power, mastered the magic of decay and used it in a meteoric rise to power within the Gnoll tribes. She would spread the teachings of her dark gift until all of the Azure span is rotting away. Knowing our adventurers, my bet is her days are over. Decay was an interesting choice to go with in the Dragon Isles. This magic has been showing itself for some time. First we got to see the Dark Shamans, as we were told in the book Chronicle 1, where it explained how Spirit and Decay interact with the other 4 elements. Spirit soothes and coerces them, and Decay subjugates and controls them. It became more prominent in the Emerald Nightmare raid, where the Nightmare was also shown to be connected to Decay magic. This was most clearly observed from the first boss, Nythendria, who was surely under the sway of rot and decay. But the biggest thread yet in the story of decay magic was in BFA. Thros, the Blighted Land, the offshoot of the Emerald Nightmare itself. The Drust, when they called upon dark powers, accidentally tapped into this place, and the story has been going on just below the surface for some time. All threads lead back to Thros. With the Shadowlands being described as nightmarish realms of decay, the Drust being seen there attacking the lands of the Night Fae, and Ysera, the now deceased green aspect, still having nightmares, we feel a major reveal is on the horizon, and Brackenhide Hollow is the precursor. Also, if you need a reminder on who Ysera is, check the video linked in the top right or in the description. It is our belief that we are about to be introduced to the much speculated 5th Old God, one who wields power over nature. Well, a twisted, dark, decaying version of it. While the other old gods had small footholds in the dream, we here at the campfire believe that the main driving force of the nightmare has always been the 5th Old God. Gahun, the failed attempt of the Titans to cleanse a rotting corruption, would have come from a piece of this old god. But the question is, where is it? And why has it not threatened us yet? We think that the old god is asleep, and its name is Gahania. Yes, that Gahania, the original world tree within the Emerald Dream. An old god, with the power to speed up decay in anything it infects, would never be able to be held in a prison the same way the other ones were. So, after many failed experiments to stop the decay, like Gahun, the Titans resolved to instead put it to sleep and hold its consciousness in another realm and use a giant tree to anchor it. The green Dragonflight would not only safeguard the dream and life's creations, but also be the old god's jailers. We know the great tree was thought dead after the War of the Ancients, when it lost its leaves. Most likely this meant the prism was weakened just enough to stir the slumbering one, and it has been building in power ever since. The nightmare is coming for us all. Time will tell if we were right or not, but we would still love to hear your theories and how this dungeon plays a role in the grand story of Warcraft. Come back anytime